Alright, Jimboy showing you how to prepare a cracked area where there's no sheetrock with liquid sheetrock, and when it dries it becomes perfect hard solid sheetrock ready to sand. Okay, I show you now folks how to get this done. Okay, that's a big crack there. Not necessary you need to put sheetrock here. All you gotta do is put some joint compound, but you have to make sure you press it in neatly. And oh boy, when you're done, this is perfect. Now this is, I want to really show you how you could full crack. That's right. I want to show you here, and I'm going to show you the strategy, the secret. I'm going to show you the secret how you could get this stabilized. Now, usually when you put joint compound, a lot of joint compound one place, it starts cracking. I will show you the texture, what you use. I will show you how you could avoid it from cracking. A way to avoid it from cracking. Now, you may want to say, yes, it takes, this is more time, but believe me, it's worth it. You could do this through experience. Jimboy is doing it through experience, and when I'm done here, you're going to be like delighted. You're going to be like, damn, I should do that with mine too. Now, this is the big crack. You know, I could take sheetrock and just put it here, but for what? You don't want to be joining. This makes the surface here more stronger with the line up there. All right, I'm gonna show you. When this is dry, this becomes solid sheetrock also. This is joint compound. This is usually, there's a common word for it, liquid sheetrock. All right, liquid sheetrock. Look here, all here. You could pull. As I'm pulling, make sure it's lined up, it's level. Now, with my hard spatula here, this is what I used. This is what I used with my hard spatula. Now, this was to put pressure in here, in the space. This I used to put pressure. Now, I have this, the Flexi. This is more of a plastic spatula. This is made now to spread out my liquid sheetrock, which is joint compound, perfectly. So this is what I will show you. I'll put the excess out of here. Put the excess out of there. Now I will come back, grab my compound. I'll put my compound here. Now to have a level texture, this is what I will do. I will pull. You don't want to put it too thick for the first layer. You don't want to put it too thick. You just want to have it so that when you put your binder, and I will show you simply what the binder is. Many of you see this every day, which you probably want to know where's the binder. And now I'm going to show you right here. This is where the binder is going to be. This is where the binder is going to be, right here. Right here. Now I'm going to show you the texture, what I'm going to do. I want you to take a good look at what I'm doing here, because it's a little how to say, I'm doing a little big space here, a big space, so that you can see what I'm trying to do. When you whenever you spread this out, the joint compound, to give you a better access, here, what you want to do is, well, yes, when you use this spreader and you're spreading your compound, you want to spread it smoothly like this. Smoothly like that, so it avoids you from sanding, having too much sanding to do. I know many people, they try to run away from sanding, but that's part of what makes the project beautiful. All right, now you could put it here also. Now this, I'm gonna put some more here. See, this is what makes the project smooth. You want to make it as smooth as possible. You want to make it as smooth as possible here. Now, I want to show you exactly what I'm trying to do here, and then I will show you the secret of what's gonna make it perfect. Whenever you see me disappear a little bit, that's because I'm trying to pick up all the the giant compound from my bucket. You see, look carefully what I'm doing. I'm trying to make it as smooth as possible so my sanding would not be as hard work to do. All right. Now I'll come back here again. If you could hear me good, dear, by hard work, I'm trying to ease up hard work. You could do the same by using just a little technology. When I say technology, technique. You know, you could blend technology with technique and you get things done perfect. See, it takes patience, but when you're done, you want to do it with pride. You want it to look good. Whenever I do something, folks, and you look at what I'm doing, I try to take pride in what I do. So you could learn something from me, and I could, when the day is done, I could say, yes, Jimboy has taught and share his thoughts with others. Now, this is what I'm going to do. One more time. I'm trying to show you what I'm doing here. I'm trying to level this off as much as I can. Now you could pull one way, pull back the other way. So in this way you're putting the filler or the joint compound properly in all the grooves that needed to be done. Now we got this other piece here. When I done this, I'm going to show you now what I will use to hold this. If you notice these here, this is much thicker with a gap where I try to put the joint compound very thick so that it's built in properly. When it becomes hard, it's like sheetrock. But if you don't do what I'm going to show you to do right now, you will end up with cracks. Whenever joint compound is thick, it starts cracking. So you want to avoid that cracking. And I'm going to show you just now. Be patient with me. This is what I continue. Now you want to continue this, all right? You want to continue. You don't want to stop. You want to finish the entire portion of what you plan to take care of at the same time. You don't want to leave piece and do another piece. That's not the way. That's not the proper way to get things done. When you do something, you do it with pride. One more time. Do something, you do it with pride. Now, I'm going to finish out this piece here. Now, you're going to take a look back of all the things I spread just now. All right? We're going to take a look back at all what I spread, and you tell me this was perfect. Remember, I welcome your comment. If you think you have learned something, I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. I want to make sure that I taught you something, all right? So you could leave your comment with me. Leave your comment. I'm happy to share my thoughts with you. Now, this is the secret here now. See this? I cannot leave this like this, even though it's pretty good. That you could say, yes, it's ready to sand, but you don't want to sand that. This will crack. So something I will use now, very common. We see it in our houses every day. We actually, I'm sure, one time in the week we use that word. Okay, I'm going to show you what I'm going to use right now. This is what I'm going to be using. Okay, I'll be right back there. I'll be using this. Okay, now keep in mind, this was my plexi spatula. Still got some compound. This is my solid spatula. Still got some compound. Now this is my secret. Have yourself, you could get now, not necessarily you need this right away. You don't need this anymore. You don't need a solid one. You could clean it, put it aside. Always make sure when you finish something, you finish using a tool, clean it. Clean your tool so you can have it to use instantly, 5 minutes from now or later on. That's the best way to work. At anything you do it with pride. Now, this is the secret here that what will help This is a joint compound tape. This tape here is what will hold this joint compound here and avoid it from cracking. And then I will tell you, I will show you step by step how you're gonna do the second coat. All right, so we're gonna go back from this end, which will be over there. Now we're gonna start. This is it here. We're gonna start with one. Not necessary this have to be perfectly cut, but the nicer you cut it, the straighter you cut it, it's easier for you. You could use a scissors, you could use a knife. For me, I just use my fingers, my hands. All right, so this is the secret. I put a tape, try to line it up to the area you want it. Put a tape, take your time. You don't want to move it around too much to move around and mess the what you just did. All right, you don't want to do that. So you're gonna set this up. I'll show you right now. Keep your hands straight as possible. All right. Now and then you may have a mishap where your finger may touch the joint compound than you already did, but hey, it's not a big deal from what you're going to end up with, the beautiful texture. Now this is the, you're going to continue here, you're going to continue there. Now you have access. Now if let's say you're in a situation where you don't have access to hold the tape, all you got to do is rest it the way I put it. You rest it. No, never mind, this is leaped over. When you get back on the other side that I'll try to finish, then you roll your tape through, which I'll be doing right now. I'll be doing it right now. Now, this is how we're going to do continuing. You want to continue the ends as perfect as possible, and you want to not overlap it on the other part. If you notice, I have another piece tape cut here before, so and that is already set to dry. So you don't want to overlap it too much. Now, the secret is this joint compound here will support and hold the bonded tape together on the sheetrock. Like a glue, so you must put enough under. So when you put this tape here now, I will show you how you're going to spread it down solid hard. You're going to take some joint compound, have a little joint compound with you here. So what you're going to do is run this tape. You're going to do like this. You can start from one end, but not necessary. All you got to do is run straight line. Take your spatula and pull with pressure. Keep pressuring. Keep putting pressure on your tape, and look at that, beautiful. Now this will stay there. The reason for this, you want this now to stay there as neatly as possible. It's like a binder for the compound. So when that compound dry later on, when that compound dry, you know definitely it's not gonna crack, because the tape is going to be holding that compound very strong. I'll finish off the other piece. Now, before I continue the other piece here, let me show you. I want to make sure you see what I'm doing. Now, this is the other piece here. Remember, I could have started from this end, but not necessary. So long as you know what you're doing, you use a little technique. You started here, at the middle I started, you could pull back the opposite way. Don't pull the same way. What you want to do here is take out the air. You want to pull all the air off of the tape and let it seat as a glue. Let the compound become a glue. Look at that, neatly done. Now, you're going to leave this to dry like for a day. You know, it's... you're going to leave this to dry for a day. If you don't have access to go to the project at the same time, then you could leave it for another couple of days. But one day is perfect, because this will dry. When this dries, you're still not ready to paint yet. What you want to do, you don't want to paint over tape. Now, what you're going to do is go back the next day and do a second coat This is, you don't need much joint compound. All you gotta do, I'll show you a little piece, which I will leave this for the second coating of joint compound, but I'll show you a little texture here. On the next day when this is dry, all you gotta do is put lightly another coating on top of the tape. You see, when you put it neatly like that, you're gonna take your sander. When the second coat is dry, take your sander and sand it out nicely and smoothly, and then, believe it or not, folks, you will be ready to put your favorite colors on. It's gonna be a solid. It's gonna be a solid wall when you're done. Beautiful. Now, this is what I wanted to show you. This is what I wanted to tell you. Remember, this was a solid crack here. Look at this. This, when this dry, this is going to be like a sheetrock paper. The tape will automatically present itself as a sheetrock paper. So this will be solid. When you sand it smoothly, you're ready to paint. And if you could take a good look, so far so good. All right. So that's how you prepare sheetrock when it's all cracked up. Now, I'll show you another secret here. Before I go, I hope you did learn something there. This is 2 holes. This is 2 holes in a wall. The easiest way to locate the hole, when you finish locating a hole, the easiest way to make sure that you don't miss them is take a pencil and circle. Circle the spot, then you come back like this. You pull like this to cover these holes perfectly. And you don't want to do much sanding. You take a little bit of joint compound, pull one way, bam, and guess what? You pull the opposite way, cross way, you pull again, upwards. Once you do that, look at this, where are the holes? And then you can smooth it off, take your time, smooth it off a little bit. Where are the holes? The holes have disappeared. Now, let's say later on it's dried, you could light sand it very lightly. The main thing about avoiding yourself from sanding a lot, when you put joint compound, try not to have a deep edge at the sides. It's the same as doing a car. If you could avoid, bring this down, pull this down as flat as possible, then your sanding will be much easier. All right? So that's how Jimboy show you to prepare sheetrock when it's cracked without changing a sheetrock. Thank you very much, and I hope you did learn something. I love to share my thoughts with you. Now, if I could do it, you could do it. Jimboy says, if you want to do it, have fun doing it. Bye.